Why, hello, and welcome to Spoilerpiece Theater, the podcast that doesn't give a shit about spoilers. We just want to talk about the movies. My name is Dave Riedel. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a movie yapper, and I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association.
My name is Evan Crean. My pronouns are he, him. I'm co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of your 80s Movie Guide, Better Living, and co-host of the It's Pictures podcast.
Indeed you are, sir.
Yuppers.
So this week, we are talking about the big swinging dick release of the week, which is Christopher Nolan's take on the Odyssey. I don't know if it's fair of me to say Christopher Nolan's take on the Odyssey, because I don't know if there's really been another take on it. And also it's like, here's Chris's take. It's like he's doing his pitch, you know, his 4-page treatment.
Yeah, little Chris Nolan. He's gonna make a little movie about the Odyssey.
He's gonna make a little movie about the Odyssey. He needs a little help from the Rosado brothers, though, because the studio didn't want to put up all the money. So, anyway, before we get into that, I am going to mention that over on the Patreon, we have another Evan special for you.
Oh, shucks.
Which is to say that Evan has been on a run of really good choices lately. So he chose this week's movie also over on Patreon, and that is Nobody 2, starring Bob Odenkirk. And we had a whole lot of fun watching it, and we had a whole lot of fun. Jesus, let me speak English now. A whole lot of fun talking about it, and talking about it with real words that I was not accidentally making up. So, yeah. It's a fun conversation. It's a fun movie. Patreon is fun. Blah, blah, blee, blee, blue. If you're a patron, please go check that out. And if you're not a patron, what the hell is your problem? Go be a patron and listen to nearly 500 episodes of extra shit. Got other fucking things to do with your time? God damn, people. So
be a cool person like our sponsor piece patron, Heather Sachs.
Yes.
Thank you, Heather.
The coolest of the cool people, Heather Sachs. Thank you. So, don't I have the strangest style? I tell people we've got extra stuff that they'll have to pay for, and then I insult them. So, Anyway, I was saying at the top here that we are talking about the big swinging dick release this week, which is The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan. I don't remember when I even heard that this was a movie. This is how little I actually read about behind the scenes shit, Evan. I didn't know that The Odyssey was a movie until 6 weeks ago. Because I just don't give a shit, about, is the movie out? It's a real movie that exists. Okay, now I'm going to spend some time.
To about it.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's just I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I'm such a Christopher Nolan fan, which I am not. I'm not anti-Christopher Nolan either. I am not. There are so many people, and we'll get into this. There are so many people who think he is the greatest fucking filmmaker living right now. And and I don't actually quibble with that if you consider greatest filmmaker to mean is great at making films, in the sense that he really knows how to place a camera. He knows how to block actors. He knows how to, but I think a lot of his end products don't work for me the way they work for other people who fucking cream in their pants every time they hear his name. I think that's partly because Memento never fooled me. Never fooled me in the story, and never fooled me because it's not better than people think it is. It's just not as good as you think it is. It's fine, but it's not fucking Jesus on a cracker, coming back from the dead. Okay? Now, if you talk to me about superhero movies, I would say two out of the three Batman movies are the greatest comic book adaptations, in my opinion, in contemporary filmmaking. I think that Batman Begins is great. I think The Dark Knight is even greater. And I think The Dark Knight Rises doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. So, because I watched it again maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, and I'm watching it and I'm going, because I'm sitting paying. I remember seeing it in the theater. Joan went with me. It's so long ago that Joan went with me. And we were both like, that was fucking amazing. I can't believe how great that was. And then I watched it again. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty fucking great. Then I didn't watch it for a long time. Sometime 2022, 23, 24, I watched it, and I'm watching this movie, and I'm watching it at home, and the boys aren't with me. And I'm alone, and I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, this movie doesn't make any fucking sense. The choices the characters make don't make sense. The story beats don't make sense. The villain reveals don't make sense. How he gets out of the fucking hole in the ground doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense at all, in any way. It doesn't make sense that they chose to shoot in Pittsburgh instead of Chicago. I mean, financially, maybe it does, but otherwise, you're going to choose to shoot in Pittsburgh rather than Chicago? You fucking dicks. So anyway.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie, and I have not had a desire to revisit it.
Well, and so let's go run through some of his other movies. How do you feel about The Prestige?
I remember liking it.
I like The Prestige. I think The Prestige holds up pretty well. I think that movie's greatest strength is motherfucking David Bowie as Nikola Tesla, but I think that movie holds up. I don't even mind that it does the cutesy poo. It's like they were twins the whole time thing at the end, because that is part of the movie's whole gag, if you want to use the word gag. Kind of reductive, but I think it works. Dark Knight's great. Inception I liked a lot.
Yeah, I actually really like Inception.
I watched Inception not too long ago, and I'm watching it and going, this shouldn't make sense, but it actually kind of does make sense. Dark Knight Rises, we talked about. Interstellar, people think that movie is fucking amazing, and I'm like, this is like, which member of the Wizard of Oz didn't have the heart? Was it the Tin Man?
Yeah.
This is like the Tin Man made a movie. There's no heart in Interstellar. I know it's all about relationships and fathers and daughters and stuff, but there is not an ounce of emotional credibility in that movie. As great as it is as good as some of the filmmaking is, as fine as Matthew McConaughey is in that, I just watched that movie and I'm like, I just don't believe any of these fucking people care about each other. It just, from a story perspective, it just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. And actually, if I think of his filmography and I think of a movie of his that I hate, I think I hate Interstellar.
See, there you go.
I don't think I hate any of his movies, but but aside from Interstellar, but I hate Interstellar.
Yeah. But then,
for the reasons you mentioned.
So then I see Interstellar and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I see Dunkirk and I'm like, he does have a soul. Oh my God. Yeah. Dunkirk is one of the finest World War II movies, I think, that exists. Told in a completely Christopher Nolan weird ass way that totally works. You don't want to kill Barry Keoghan, who I heard him pronounce his own name on a podcast, and he does say Keoghan, which blows my mind. But hey, he's the Irishman, not me. Tenet, I couldn't follow, so I stopped following it.
I liked Tenet. I thought it was fun.
Oppenheimer was fine, but I don't think it's like, fucking Jesus Christ resurrected on a cracker.
I don't think it's as good as people say that it is.
But the thing that all of these movies have in common is Christopher Nolan, if nothing else, is very confident in his own work.
Yes.
And I think that to his detriment, but mostly to his benefit, to his detriment sometimes. I think he is a director that, for me, the material from which he is making these movies really has to be top-notch kind of shit. And that brings us to the Odyssey.
It
Evan,
does.
We saw the Odyssey sitting next to each other.
Yeah, literally sitting next to each other.
In a dark theater with all of our critic friends, told we couldn't bring a +1, even though the theater was only about 2/3 full. Now, I don't know. We didn't see it in IMAX.
Yeah. Or 70 millimeter, funny enough, even though the promo image said 70 millimeter big on the screen.
Here's the thing, though. Some of those theaters at the location we saw it are fitted. They're not fitted for IMAX necessarily, but they can format 70 millimeter. I don't think that this was. It looked like 35 to me, but you know, I'm not a fucking former projectionist who, you know, is now a movie critic, so I can't tell these things. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. How do you feel about it? I remember I'm gonna let you answer the question I just asked you, I swear. I remember thinking to myself, I don't know if this is an Evan movie. And I wonder if I'm gonna look over at him and he's gonna look like he wants to die.
I mean, you might think so. I mean, you know how often on this show I've railed against long movies, how much I hate fucking long movies. And trust me, no one was more surprised than me that I actually enjoyed a movie that was almost 3 hours long and also didn't feel myself losing attention. I think this movie held my attention. I couldn't look away from it. I think, and I mean, I'm like also at another disadvantage because I'm like, I never read the Odyssey. I really don't know a lot about, you know, Greek mythology and storytelling, and like I read the Iliad, but I'm like, I don't know any of this stuff. It's literally Greek to me. I don't fucking know it. And so like that's another disadvantage. But like I come in and I watch it, it held my fucking attention. It is dirty, it's dangerous, it's chaotic. The score is incredible. I was saying to Dave after the movie, my favorite score from the year prior to this movie was Ludwig Göransson's score from Mandalorian and Grogu, until I saw this movie, which is also scored by Ludwig Göransson, and I legitimately can't tell which score is my favorite of his, because in this it is so compelling, it's so intense, it sucks you in, and just like every scene is just ugh. Like especially all of the like action scenes where they're like, you know, fighting a cyclops or being chased by armored giants, or, you know, trying to survive the sirens that are calling to them from the boat that's narrowly avoiding a whirlpool. It's just, there's so many like harrowing, dangerous scenes in this film that are just like, oh my God, wow, this looks incredible. This is shot and edited and scored so incredibly. And then there's also like really excellent performances at the heart of this. I think the weak link in this is definitely Tom Holland. I don't think he gives a very good performance, but I also don't think his character is written to be very compelling either. He's kind of like the dweeb son who's like, oh, Odysseus's dweeb son. Like, I guess we could make him king because we were supposed to make him king, but this guy's a fucking loser and doesn't know what he's doing.
I kind of feel that way too. And I know that, you know, there's supposed to be that thing at the end where he finally kills, I don't know which fucking guy it is. It's one of Robert Pattinson's toadies who's doing his bidding. He
kills Logan Marshall Green's character in this.
Yes. It took me, I was like, why do I know who that fucking guy is? And the funny thing is he kind of looks just like Logan Marshall Green, but
yep.
I couldn't tell that it was him.
Yeah.
But anyway, he kills that guy, and it's like, oh, now you've killed someone, you're ready to be fucking king. And it's like, yeah, but okay, Matt Damon, let's put our turds on the table here. Matt Damon is a short man. You know who's a shorter man? Tom Holland.
Who? Tom Holland.
And he just looks like, I mean, there's a reason that I still believe him as Spider-Man, even though he's nearing 30 years old. You know, the guy looks like, I mean, he has no lines on his face. He has no facial hair to speak of, at least not on screen. Yeah. And he's really good at playing a pussy. So, but I think that's to this movie's detriment. I think you need to see somebody come into his own more in this.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the weak link. But like Matt Damon is Odysseus, he's excellent, and
he is Penelope. Terrific.
Yeah,
yeah,
really, really good. He plays haunted really well, and Odysseus in this is haunted. he's haunted by his choices, his experiences, the men that he's lost. He like is literally like at one point has lost his memory, has no idea what has happened, or he's a fucking mess. And I think Matt Damon makes it all very believable, and also makes him believable when he's like going back to his, going back to Ithaca to like reclaim some type of I don't know, reputation, glory. I don't quite know how to describe it, but like that all feels very believable to me. And like Robert Pattinson is really fucking good as a villain in this. I want to play more villains.
By the way, you know who's amazing in this? Fucking amazing.
Who?
Did you already say this and I missed it? John Leguizamo.
No, I didn't.
John Leguizamo. I'm like watching this, and it's because he's got that John Leguizamo voice. And he doesn't have I mean, you can tell that it's him just because eventually they do a close up and you're like, oh, it's John Leguizamo. Yeah. But he doesn't sound like John Leguizamo, He doesn't have that New York thing in it. But he's not doing an accent either. It's just like disguised or something. And he's so good. Like every time I see him in the last 10 years, I'm just like, man, this guy's good.
Yeah, he really blew me away in that movie from last year. Was it last year?
Oh, the one where Bob
Trevino likes it.
Bob Trevino likes it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he really blew me away and he was really excellent. There was a show with Journey Smollett and Taron Egerton, whatever his name is, called Smoke, and he was really, really good in that too. I mean, he's always been kind of underrated as an actor, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I had the joy of seeing one of his shows on Broadway, one of his one-man shows. This has got to be 25 years ago. And it was it was before anything was online, so we had to rush tickets. Where you go to TKTS on like Sunday morning and hope you get in. And we got like second row seats for the matinee. And he was fucking amazing. It was Freak is the name of the show. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he was great. Tom Holland wasn't great.
Yeah, but this movie is stacked. It's got it has Lupita Nyong'o, it's got Zendaya, it's got Charlize Theron, Elliot Page, Samantha Morton, John Bernthal, fucking Mia Goth.
John Bernthal, who I've always kind of been like, I like John Bernthal, but I'm not sure how much of an actor he is. Is that fair? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
He kind of has a little bit of a swagger to him that it feels like it comes through in a lot of his characters. I hear what you're saying.
But I feel like the swagger, two things about the swagger. One, it was reined in this. And two, it was completely appropriate for what he was doing.
Right.
Kind of like a chastened swagger in a way. Because I always, like when I saw The Accountant 2, so I saw The Accountant, as we all did, and I was like, oh, that was a lot better than I thought it'd be. And then you see the second one, it's all about the two of them, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then I saw it, and I'm like, this fucking sucks. And it's kind of because John Bernthal is in so much of it. And yeah, I liked him in this. And have you seen any of the stuff online about people being like, how can they fucking cast like a black woman as Helen of Troy? And I'm like, have you seen her face? Have you seen Lupita Nyong'o's face?
Yeah.
I mean,
seriously.
I'm pretty sure she could launch some ships. But also, let's not forget that not only is this fiction, but it's mythology.
Right.
It does not matter what they look like. I know that anybody listening to this probably agrees already, but just grow the fuck up.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. There's so many good people in this. I mean, I liked Himesh Patel. I think he's really good. We just saw him in Enola Holmes 3, and that he gets so much more to do in this than he got to do in that, even though he's one of many characters. I thought Samantha Morton was really great as the
she
witch
was great. I have never bought into her. I've always been like, yeah, Samantha Morton, whatever. She's fucking amazing in this.
Yeah. And probably what is the most like disgusting scene in the entire movie when like she invites all the guys in to her home to like feed them, and they're like gobbling food down like pigs, and like all the sounds of them eating, just scarving the food down hungrily, it just made me want to vomit. And then you see the she's like grabbing their faces and like physically transforming them into pigs, and it's just like, oh my god, this scene is just ugh.
You know what it reminds me of? It didn't remind me of it at the time, but afterwards I was thinking about it. It's when the final, like, I don't know what they're called, but the final bad boy in Pinocchio becomes a donkey, and you see his shadow, and he's screaming, "Mama!" and he turns into a donkey, and it's one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was akin, I mean, it didn't scare me the same way, but it's akin to that.
Yeah, it's fucking scary. That's why I'm not showing my kid Pinocchio for a while.
Dude, every time I think I'm going to show the boys like one of the old Disney movies, I'm like, no, the old Disney movies are fucked up, you know?
Yeah, some of them are pretty fucked up. Like Bambi, we're not doing that. We're not doing Fox and the Hound.
We don't need, sorry, your mother can't be with you now. Yeah. Anyway,
getting back to this.
To the Odyssey. Yeah, I read the Odyssey in college, which is to say I read the Cliff's Notes. And
you read Cliff's Notes.
I read Cliff's Notes, yes. There's no apostrophe in Cliff's Notes, is there?
No, there's not.
What is up with that?
I don't know.
I guess it's not Cliff like the cliff. The guy Cliff. It's not Clifford's Notes, I don't know how closely this adheres to the text story-wise. I'm assuming there's a whole bunch of... I mean, I know that it's a lot fucking grosser than... I remember specifically, this is not in the movie, a bunch of the female slaves are having sex with the suitors. In the movie, it's just Mia Goth, and that was Mia Goth, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
she
Robert...
was the handmaiden of... Anne
Hathaway, yeah. And she's boning Robert Pattinson and feeding him information. But I do remember that in the poem or the epic or whatever you want to call it, that the son, Telemachus,
yep,
he hangs them all. He hangs all the female slaves.
Oof.
Odysseus kills all the suitors. He hangs all the slaves. So that's not here. Odysseus kills the bulk of the suitors, except for the ones who ultimately pledge allegiance to him again.
Oh boy, does he kill them!
Yeah, he's pretty good with a bow. That Odysseus.
And at a certain point, he's just holding arrows and just stabbing people with arrows.
That was pretty cool. I think one of the things that is really excellent about this, and it's not specifically about this, but Matt Damon has been in our lives now since, for me, School Ties. That's when I first saw him. And I don't really like to talk about actors in this way because I don't, even though I love filmmaking and I love acting and all that kind of stuff, I don't assign it the weight that a lot of people do because it's like, it's make-believe.
Yeah, it's plain pretend.
It's plain pretend. I'm more of a Timothy Oliphant in that kind of way. It's like, I get to play dress up, whatever. But you can really see Matt Damon's growth as a screen performer, especially in the last decade or so, but over the breadth of his career. And he is truly, and I'm using the word fine in the way that one uses fine when they mean he is quite fine in this role. He is really, he is exceptional, I would say.
Yeah.
Because there's always moments in his movies, less and less as time has gone on, where I just feel like a little bit of insincerity in his performance. Like I feel like he's sitting there thinking, all right, I'm playing this scene and I don't know quite what to do. So what would a better actor than Matt Damon do? What would Olivier do? He's like, I'll try to do what Olivier does. And I just made up like a random actor or whatever. But I feel like in this, he's channeling everything. He's got it. He's gotten to the core of whatever this is. And he is completely in control of this performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. I was really impressed with him because it's like you take a movie star, I mean, who's a bigger movie star than Matt Damon? Brad Pitt?
Maybe. I feel like his star has fallen a lot in the last like decade.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of like when you think of like movie star, you know? Yeah, I guess Brad Pitt, you know, the whole breakup of his marriage didn't help things, but he hasn't had a huge hit in quite a while. I guess since Once Upon a Time, right? And he's not even the main character in that. But this is a great movie star performance, and it's a great piece of film acting too.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because I feel like as much as I was ragging on Interstellar before, Matt Damon is actually one of my favorite parts in that film.
He's like one of the few parts of that movie that feels like works for me.
Yeah.
When they find him and he's like, you know, sobbing hysterically about having finally been found. And then you realize he's his character is just so duplicitous. Like even from the way he's crying at the beginning, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's a really excellent performance. So I'm like, yeah, well, there was like the Christopher Nolan connection. And maybe he was able to tap into something in Matt Damon that other directors haven't been able to. I don't know.
Maybe, but it's also we saw. Was it The Rip? Was that the one Matt Damon and Ben Affleck did together earlier this year? And Matt Damon was fine in that. He was good.
Like, all right.
Yeah. Right. But I remember thinking like Ben Affleck has also gotten to that point in his career where just everything with him now is 100%. You know, and because he was fucking amazing in that movie. Movie's kind of shitty, but he's great.
Yeah,
you know.
But Ben Affleck, I feel, also will pick and choose when he wants to go all in on something. Because when he's not enthusiastic about a part, I feel like that comes through in some of the movies he's made in the last like decade. When you see
it's
him
really
stuff,
hard.
Like, you're like, hey, he's not. His heart's not in this.
It's really hard to watch him in the DC movies he's in. I mean, it's hard to watch any of those movies, really. But it's especially hard to watch him because it's just like he doesn't want to play Batman.
Yeah, he clearly does not want to be there.
Pardon me, I had to have a sip of my fake Pellegrino. I got the Whole Foods store brand, which is still almost as expensive as Pellegrino.
I think one of the crazier things in this is that Benny Safdie plays King Agamemnon, and you like don't really see his face almost at all, and you almost barely don't hear his voice.
You only see a little bit of his hair, really.
A little bit of his hair, and you know, a little bit of his face through a helmet. But we both were like, the credits rolled, and we're like, who the hell is Benny? He was King Agamemnon. That's right. We never fucking saw his face.
Yeah.
The entire fucking movie. Okay, got it.
And I also want to throw in a plug for Elliot Page, who I can't remember the last time I saw him in anything. And at first, I didn't know that he was playing Sinon. And so when he gets filled full of arrows at the beginning, I'm like, they're just going to fucking kill off Elliot Page in 15 seconds.
Yeah, it felt a little bit cruel. Like at the beginning, I was kind of like, oh, great, Elliot Page, awesome. Haven't seen you in anything in a while. Good. Oh, you're in a big movie. Cool. And then, it gets shot to shit with arrows. Like, oh, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then, but they made so much more to that character, which made it compelling. And then I was like, okay, good. I'm actually glad.
Yeah. And it became quite poignant because his character is the sort of the spokesperson for the dead, I guess. And it ties into, you know, Robert Pattinson being a fucking like cuck from the very beginning.
Right.
Cuck in the conservative MAGA sense, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. The only thing that really, I don't think this held my interest quite the way it held yours. Because there were a couple of things that I thought, I mean, I did have trouble. Is the Cyclops blind? I can't remember. I mean, they stabbed the Cyclops in the eye, so if he's not, he becomes blind.
Yeah, I mean, they jab a fucking flaming log in his eyeball, and I'm surprised that didn't kill him.
Yeah.
But then, Odysseus shoots an arrow right in his eye again later. I feel like at that point he has to be blind if he wasn't blinded before.
I feel like the staging of that sequence, I'm not quite sure I understand exactly how the Cyclops didn't know where they were at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Because those quarters felt a little close. I mean, I know that they were kind of disguising themselves to be in with the sheep and things like that, but
and it was a dark cave where there's not really any light.
Yeah, but it still seemed, I don't know, didn't quite work for me. Also, some of the deaths of these soldiers were unspeakably cruel.
Oh, totally. Between like the Cyclops like biting them and spitting out their heads, or like the part that will haunt me from this movie is the scene where they like come ashore and they're like looking for food and they're like desperate and they see this like kid and they're like, oh, who's this like wimpy kid? And then kid screams and then the like you've probably seen them, listeners, in the ads. There's like these giant guys wearing like metal armor that look very intimidating. And they're way scarier even in the movie when they show up, and they just show up in the woods and just start mercilessly killing everybody, and like everyone's running and like running into traps that they've set, and they just barely make it out of it alive, like some of the people. But like the giants like crush the two other boats that are part of their fleet, like destroy them, kill all the men, and like the few that make it just barely make it out of it alive.
Yeah. I was sad to see Himesh Patel go. I mean, I know that all of the men die over the course of the story, but I was like, I know that there's a mutiny, or at least I'm confusing the Cliff's Notes with this. I don't remember whether there's a mutiny in the original poem or not, but I was like, please don't mutiny. But the whole way that he, don't slaughter any of Apollo's herd. Yeah, all right. But then they slaughter Apollo's herd. In their defense, they are on the island a very long time. But then he just basically says, it's like, yeah, we're going to take our chances. We know what was happening, but this is all fucked up and it's your own fault, Odysseus. And I'm like, I kind of appreciate his attitude about this. It's like, oh no, it's not. It's like, no, we do believe it. We're dying anyway. So we fucking slaughtered a cow and ate a cow and fuck you.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, as much as Matt Damon makes Odysseus someone you want to root for, there's plenty of times you see him when he's commanding his men that he's really cocky and he fucking playing fast and loose in situations, and it gets his men killed. So many of his men are needlessly killed by his cavalier attitude and decision making.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know if I'd go so far as to call Odysseus an anti-hero, because, I feel like if you played this straight through chronologically beginning to end, you wouldn't really, the change that Odysseus has. I mean, the whole, you realize at the end they've climbed inside the horse, they've gone inside Troy, they've dropped out, they've killed a bunch of dudes, they've let the army in, they've destroyed everything. Then they're stuck in
a city.
They're on that goddamn beach for 10 years. But before that, they keep talking about Zeus's law, which is basically it's the golden rule. It's treat others as you would be treated. And in this case, it means be hospitable to visitors more than anything.
Right.
And he realizes they've broken Zeus's law, first when he sees the city burning, but second when Zendaya gets beheaded right in front of him. But then it doesn't quite square with when they're going home, it doesn't quite square with some of his decision making, what he has learned over the course of that campaign, and it's like, there's not a clear delineation of why he would be making some of these not great decisions. Because eventually when they do reach the witch, which is the sequence right after the huge giant dudes, she does tell him everything that he needs to know. And she tells him, your men are going to die and you're going to kill them. And he's like, well, I'll try to prevent it as much as I can. And to Odysseus' credit, he does try to make all the decisions that he can from that point to save them. But there's that gap from when he's let go by Charlize Theron, and when we, I'm getting my timeline screwed up again because the Charlize Theron stuff technically comes after all this stuff. There's the time when he realizes that he's broken Zeus's law, and up to the point where he's talking to the witch, where he's still making all kinds of terrible decisions that you think the gods would not necessarily be down with. And then he kind of gets his shit together. And then he goes back to Ithaca for nostalgic purposes, I guess, but also to say, oh, we actually need to reclaim, we need to start following Zeus's law again. And it's like, okay, I'm not really sure that all bears out with some of the actions I've seen taking place beforehand. And I don't know if that's a flaw in the story, in the writing, or if that's just the way the story is. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a roundabout way, because I'm still trying to talk my head around my thoughts about it. I don't know.
I think I was struggling with Zeus's law because it was not something I was familiar with. It just sounded like something I looked it up. I know it is a thing, but it just feels like something someone made up. Who was like,
it does.
I read the Odyssey, and my takeaway is I'm going to create something called Zeus's law. I'm going to basically make it the golden rule, but I'm going to like add the thing that's like, you got to be polite to strangers and give them food a drink because they could be, travelers. They could be a god disguised. Gods in disguise, and we don't want to anger them, et cetera, et cetera. It almost sounds made up, but it's not. But I agree with you that it's one of the biggest through lines throughout the movie, and it's difficult to square some of those pieces of it with the actions that you see with the characters, and you see Odysseus take throughout the movie. I think, to me, this was more effective when it was kind of like about PTSD and Odysseus being haunted by both, war, losing his men, and his bad decision making. And I actually kind of really like this idea that like everyone celebrates him for, the Trojan horse and destroying Troy, but like he has realized that there is nothing glorious about what he did, and that he basically like crushed a civilization to like win a battle, and the world is not a better place for it. Like there's he makes some comments like our Bronze Age is collapsing, and like we had language and cities and all kinds of amenities and things, and now that's all gone because I basically decided to pull this like dirty trick.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was all really interesting in a way that I was not expecting going into this movie. I was expecting a lot more like epic spectacle and not some of these more complex layered themes that were also going to be, in here.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, I don't really know what I expected. I mean, I expected it to be huge because it's Christopher Nolan.
And it is.
Yeah.
It is, I think. Feels epic in scale.
Funny that you say that. But I think despite the flaws, or what I see as the flaws that I've pointed out in it, it doesn't really take away overall from its impact and its greatness, even though I think you were talking about how it held your interest in everything the whole way through. And even though at the end I did start to feel it flag, like when Odysseus finally reaches home, but he's still in disguise. And first of all, I'm thinking, why doesn't fucking anybody recognize his voice? It can't have changed.
Especially John Leguizamo, of all people.
Because they were like, fucking bosom buddies. But also it just kind of goes on for a while. And then there's that bit, and I know that this movie does not have a lot of humor, but it does have intentional moments of humor. But this is unintentional. When Logan Marshall Green has made the hole in the armory floor, and he's throwing, weapons and et cetera through, and every like 90 seconds or so, it cuts to Robert Pattinson when a new thing is being thrown in there, and he's like, get the shields. And then, 90 seconds, get the swords. And it's like, okay, we get it. I don't really think this is working the way that you mean it to. because this is supposed to be a really tense moment, and I don't think humor works here, but this is unintentionally funny, him being just such a little dweeby douche like this.
Right.
And I think
he
that
doesn't do any of his own fighting. He just gets other people to do his dirty work.
Right. Which is what he had done to get out of going to battle when he was a child, right? So
right, and why Sinon ended up taking his Sinon? Ended up taking his place.
Yeah. I did appreciate it when he was stabbed to death and given back his shame.
Yeah.
Although I wish that we had seen the stabbing on screen, but I know it's Robert Pattinson. You got to see his face, blah, blah, blah. But overall, I mean, I described some of the flaws and et cetera, and you did too. But overall, I think this is really worth your time. And if you can see it in IMAX like we did not, probably even more worth your time.
Yeah, it's one that I would say truly deserves to be seen in a movie theater on a big screen. I don't think if you watch this at home, it's going to have the same magnitude or impact on a first watch. If you're the kind of person who wants to watch this again, I think I'm personally good. I don't know that I need to see this again, but if you're the kind of person who it's going to be one and done, you should definitely go see this in a theater on the big screen in that kind of atmosphere, because I think it's going to be much more compelling.
Yeah, and we had we'd been talking before we recorded the show about the Christopher Nolan movies that work and the ones that don't, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but I think that this one works better for me because it's not precious. The way that his movies that don't work for me, I find they're precious in a way, like Interstellar, for example. Whereas this feels like I'm making a big movie and it's going to be amazing. You know?
Yeah, I think you were getting at when we were talking off mic about like the ones you feel where he's like personally invested in it. Like she's trying to put a part of himself in there, like more obviously. I think you're right. I don't think they work as well. But when he's kind of, I don't want to say more detached, but that's the best word I can use to describe, where it's like there's a bit of an emotional distance where he's just focused on like the craft and the scope of the movie, then it feels like he knows how to get it done.
Yeah, but then when, you know, he injects a human element into it, I think maybe that's why Oppenheimer doesn't work as much, because it's like, all right, well, sure. It was very hard, I'm sure, for Oppenheimer to grapple with what he had created in the end. But I mean, think about the 2 million Japanese who died, or I can't remember how many it is. I mean, how do their families grapple with it? You ever fucking think of that? Let's spend some time on that. I guess that's what I mean. And, you know, we already went through his filmography at the beginning, but I mean, he's certainly compelling. Even watching Batman, or rather Dark Knight Rises. I know I was thinking of Batman Returns. Sorry. Never understood the appeal of that movie either. But that's my whole Tim fucking whatever his name is. I was going to say Tim Dolan, but that's the guy I went to high school with. Tim Burton. Thank you. Never understood his appeal either. But aside from Pee-wee, I do understand Christopher Nolan's appeal. I just don't fanboy over him, and I don't hate him the way that, I mean, because there are just as many people who are like, fuck Christopher Nolan, this fucking bullshit, wearing a suit on the set, asshole. Just calm down. Okay, just calm down. He's not Ray Winstone. Okay, you don't have to have a seething hatred running through your blood.
No.
Same way you don't need to be all jacked up about him either. Anyway, do you have anything else to say about Odysseus, etc.?
I will caution listeners, as I have before, when there is animal death and cruelty in a movie, as there definitely is in this, like sacrificing rams. There is a dog that's literally thrown over a cliff as like an aside. Like John Leguizamo is like sorting through puppies, and he's like, "Yeah, not this one." Throws it off a cliff. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, Odysseus is like, oh, give me that one. I want that as my dog." And it's like the dog is being like kicked and beaten by the suitors, and then it's like left on like literally the dunghill to die until, you know, waits for Matt Damon to come back and then dies.
Yeah,
It's just like those things are not easy to see, and all the gross stuff of the guys transforming into the pigs is pretty gnarly and nasty.
Well, and then Agamemnon throwing his daughter over the cliff. Don't forget that part.
That's true. Yeah. So there's some difficult stuff to watch in this, and it's just know that going into it if you're planning to see this.
Yeah, but I also will say, you know how I feel about child endangerment and child death in movies. Mm-hmm. I am able to remove myself from that a little bit. Although the throwing the puppy over the shoulder off the cliff, that one did. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And it's so like, it's such a throwaway moment in the movie. It's like, what the fuck is this?
A throwaway moment.
I really wasn't trying to do it.
I know you weren't. Yeah, but because of the, the kind of the source text and what this is, epic, et cetera, I'm able to remove myself from it a little bit. But I did find that puppy thing, yoicks. And I also, before I realized what was going on in the witch's house, I did just find the men, their gluttony, just gross on a visceral level.
Yeah, so, vomitous is the word I would use to describe it.
I think that's fair. But anyway, that was, I would recommend this. I would say your mileage may vary, certainly, but this is on the higher side of your mileage may vary, Mm-hmm. If you're the kind of person, it's not like somebody staging, a 7-hour musical version of 2001 so that you need to bring a lunch, but it's long, do that thing where you get yourself some popcorn and then the peanut M&Ms and you pour it in, and then you have like chocolate peanut popcorn. But don't get the popcorn too hot because you don't want the chocolate to melt, because it melts in your mouth, not in your hand. So don't fuck up.
Yeah, that's true. Don't do that. I think a good analogy is like earlier this year we talked about the Riz Ahmed version of Hamlet, and that being like, okay, if you're gonna see this, you gotta love Shakespeare. Like otherwise, it's like, why are you showing up to it? Mm-hmm. And this is like, okay, you don't need to love the Odyssey or Greek mythology to show up and watch this. You can still find it enjoyable. You might find it more enjoyable if you're familiar with the source material. But
and you also have to have a track record for not getting a swollen ass for watching a 3-hour movie.
Yes, that's true.
You have to know, and you can get up and go to the bathroom. I got up and I had to take a wheeze, as Ren from Ren and Stimpy would have said. About an hour in, and that was fine. But that was a good little 2-minute break. I needed, mm-hmm. And there are plenty of places in the movie, like after there's a big set piece, probably safe to go pee. That being said, not big gaps between some of the set pieces. So if you're going to like the giant soldiers attacking the boats and then the witch, those happen like right back to back. So don't do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we should also mention before we wrap up that this week marks 12 years since we started doing this show, which is mind-blowing to me. We've been going for so long, and I'll speak for myself and say I'm still having fun and still enjoy making the show and talking about movies, going deep on movies like this, but also being able to do an episode where we're talking about the Odyssey, and then over on Patreon we're talking about Nobody too.
Yeah, I think that this has always been a big part of my, life, career. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. But it's been one of the things that's really interesting about it is how I feel like our relationship has grown and evolved and changed over the years. Like,
mm-hmm.
I was already married, but then you got married. We both had kids. Like Joan was having our first kid during an episode.
Right. Yeah. We had
and I had to leave.
Bye, Dave.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And I remember she called, and I can't remember if we were taping yet or not, but we were at your old apartment in Somerville. And I got the call, and I just remember she's like, I don't think I'm going to make it.
You're like, all right, you got to go, like, man.
Okay. And so that was that. And then Henry was born on that Friday, and my boss got fired on that Friday, and they wanted me to do work from the hospital, and I was like, what the fuck is my life? So, but that's a long way of saying that, A, you were cool about it. B, I took a lot of time off because it's the first kid and that happens.
Oh, totally.
And
I took time off when I had a kid.
And I was the primary editor then. So that kind of like, I can't remember. I think that you largely took over the editing at that point, and did it for a while. But then also just like our personal lives developed, and we started out, we were always friendly, but then we became like friends, and then good friends,
right?
And like we have a relationship. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen where we talk to each other about like really profound things going on in our lives, and it's like, that is not where I thought this show was going to take me.
Yeah, who would have thought that 12 years ago we would be such good friends, and we talk, and it's usually like before we even start recording, usually have like a good amount of time to just like catch up, and you'd be amazed what happens in a fucking week between talking to each other.
It really is kind of amazing the things that happen in a week.
Or even sometimes like a couple of days, because I literally this doesn't happen as often anymore, but we saw the movie together on Monday. We don't go to as many like physical in-person screenings, but it's like, shit, does it even happen in like the 2 days since I've seen you?
I know. Yeah. Evan was filling me in on what's going on with him before we got on the mic. And it's just like, I didn't say this. It was like, this is a big couple of fucking days. So yeah. And it's like last year with me, just like how, so the bottom dropped out of, my extended family, suddenly. And, you just rolled with it, because that's what you do.
That's what you do when you're friends and you do a podcast, and you're here for each other to talk. But then also part of it is like, you can set that aside for, as long as we're recording the show, we can just talk about movies and worry about the movies.
That's
right. Just want to talk about the movies,
right? Just want to talk about the movies. Yep. Oh, good stuff. Well, thank you for being my partner in this for 12 years.
Yeah, and thank you for hanging in there. I know there's definitely been times where it hasn't been easy due to many factors, internal, external factors.
Yeah. I think that I've come closer to pulling the plug more than you have, but there have definitely been some times where I've been like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And I know it sounds funny to any listeners hearing that, because like, what do you guys do? You're talking about movies, and it's like, man, you would not believe just what goes on. We were talking about what goes on in a week. What goes on in a podcast over 12 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I mean, and, trying to sometimes squeeze in movies with everything else going on in life. But we do it, and we have a lot of fun, and I'm continuing to have fun, and I'm glad that we're still doing it. And I'm appreciative to you, and I'm appreciative to all of our listeners who've hung in there with us this entire time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that being able to talk to you, once a week about this is something I look forward to. So, and audience, listeners, whatever you want to call yourselves, spoiler piecers, or as I usually call you in the email, spoiler peeps.
Yeah, I like spoiler peeps. That's a great name for our fans.
I like that too. Thank you for being here with us this entire time. I know that some of you have been here all 12 years. So that's kind of amazing.
That is dedication to Sparkle Motion, listeners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or commitment. All right. Sorry. Sometimes I doubt your commitment to Sparkle Motion.
There you go. All right. I'm going to get into it's as we call it here, the podcast outro checklist, which you would think after 12 years, you'd know it by heart, but nope.
You still forget.
Yeah. So anyway, that is an endorsement of the Odyssey by both Evan and me. You can see it anywhere you're seeing movies starting today, or probably last night on Thursday. They had some early screenings, I would guess. We said thank you to Heather Sachs, our amazing Spoilerpiece patron. But I want to say thank you to Heather again, because the 12 years kind of feels weighty in relation to Heather's relationship with the show too. So thank you again, Heather.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to say thank you to my wife, to Shauna, for being such an amazing supporter of the show, a patron, and in so many ways, and hanging in there through thick and thin. Because I know it's not easy to be the spouse of a podcaster. Yeah. And to watch all the movies with me, which she does week in and week out. And I know she enjoys it, but there are some times where it's like, oh man, we're really suffering through this movie, huh?
Yeah. So I would throw in a thank you to Shauna too, because I know how much, having recorded the show at your home with Evan in the show, the home you shared in Somerville for so long, I know what you do each week for this show. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you, Shauna. And thank you to Joan, for my ex-wife, who I am actually, I don't really talk about my personal life. I talk about the boys a little bit, but I don't really talk about my personal life much. But my ex-wife and I are like really close friends. And I'm not just saying that as a guy who's like, no, my ex-wife and I are fine. No, I mean,
no, he's not blowing smoke, listeners. Yeah. He really does have a good relationship. And I'm glad for you guys. I'm glad you guys still have a good relationship.
I am too. It makes life a lot easier than those couples who try to fucking destroy each other. Believe me. Yeah. So, that's all the cuddly mushy stuff. But also cuddly mushy thanks to our editor, Otto Clamber.
Yeah, it's like shit. How long has Otto's been in this for a while now too? Jeez Louise, like what, like 5-6 years?
5 or 6 years, yeah. I mean, I don't remember if it was before COVID or like during COVID, around COVID, but Otto's been a part of this for quite a long time. So thank you profoundly, Otto.
Yeah, you make it sound great. And I know we say you make it sound great week after week, but I listen to a lot of shows out there who sound like shit.
I listen to shows that are made by professional podcasting corporations with real celebrities who do them, and they sound like shit. Mm-hmm. And there is one in particular that about half the time I listen to it, I'm like, I cannot believe they put this out. And it's not the hosts. They're generally speaking on good quality mics and the sound's good. But it's that thing where you let your guest talk on fucking Zoom. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. You've got a podcast. Send them a fucking Shure microphone. Get them a digital audio workstation. Hire somebody to put them in front of it and install it for them and watch them hit record and then just fucking do it. It'll cost you an extra $1,000, you fucking cheap motherfuckers. All right. Our website is spoilerpiece.com. On social media, which I swear I will do better at. We're Spoilerpiece Theater on Facebook, and we're at Spoilerpiece on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky and Threads. Our email address is spoilerpiece@gmail.com. Please let us know if you feel the same way about the Odyssey, whatever. And if you like the show, please rate and review us by going to ratethispodcast.com/spoilerpiece, or you can rate us directly on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And, we talk about how like it really gets you get like a noticeable boost when you review us directly on Apple or Spotify. It doesn't last forever, but it's there. You see it in your analytics for the next few weeks. And if you really, really like the show, please consider joining our Patreon. As Evan had said at the end here, we get to do serious movies like The Odyssey, and then over on Patreon, we get to do Nobody 2, which is what we did, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it, everybody. My name is Dave Riedel. I yap about movies. I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, and all of my social media is Dave Sees Movies, except on Twitter, where I am X Can Suck a Dick, that's DIK, and Blue Sky, where I'm David Riedel.
And my name is Evan Crean. I am co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's Pictures podcast. You can follow me on social media as Real Recon, and that's real as in film reel.
See you next week for 12 years in 1 week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.